Imagine warm, shallow waters off the coast of ancient Peru. A young whale drifts through the blue, calm, unaware. Only 3 meters long, it filters plankton as sunlight dances above. But beneath the surface, something stirs. A shadow. Vast, silent, and patient. In a flash, the ocean erupts. One bite. Silence. All that's left, a trail of blood. And a single fossilized tooth. A clue to the most terrifying predator the ocean has ever known. That tooth belonged to Megalodon, a shark the size of a school bus, with jaws wide enough to swallow a human whole. For over 10 million years, it ruled the seas. Until one day, it vanished. This is the rise and fall of the monster that ate whales. Megalodon was enormous, up to 18 meters long, nearly 3/4 the size of a blue whale. Its teeth were the size of your hand, thick, serrated, and made to crush bones like twigs. But it wasn't just a random giant. Megalodon came from a powerful bloodline, a dynasty of ancient sharks known as the Megatooth family, which rose after the dinosaurs fell. Its ancestors, like Otodus obliquus, once ruled the warm seas of the Eocene. Over millions of years they grew larger, faster, deadlier, driven by one thing: the evolution of whales. Every new whale species meant a new challenge, and Megalodon evolved to meet it. As whales grew bigger and fattier, they became the perfect high-energy prey. And Megalodon, with its strategy, speed, and devastating bite, was evolution's ultimate response. But what kind of world creates a hunter this big? During the Miocene epoch, Earth was bursting with life. Tectonic shifts raised mountains and flooded rivers with nutrients. Those nutrients fed plankton. Plankton fed fish. Fish fed whales. And whales fed Megalodon. Everything was connected, a supercharged food web that pushed ocean life to record-breaking sizes. Even newborn megalodons were giants, 3 meters long, born into warm, shallow nurseries. They grew rapidly, reaching full size in just 25 years, twice the pace of their ancestors. In this golden age of giants, Megalodon reigned alone. No other predator in the ocean could challenge it. Until something did. Roughly 3 million years ago, everything began to shift. The ice ages had arrived. Oceans cooled. Currents changed. Whales, Megalodon's main prey, began migrating toward colder waters. For years, scientists believed Megalodon couldn't follow. But new research, led by Dr. Catalina Pimiento, told a different story. Her global study mapped every known Megalodon fossil, from Japan to Peru to Europe, and revealed a striking pattern. The giant shark wasn't instantly wiped out by temperature. Instead, its population and range began to shrink. First losing abundance in the late Miocene, then disappearing from entire oceans during the Pliocene. It wasn't the cold that killed it. It was competition and ecological collapse. As filter-feeding whales declined in diversity, Megalodon's global food supply began to fragment. The same period saw the rise of new predators, giant raptorial whales and the ancestors of great whites, each competing for the same dwindling prey. One of these rivals was Leviathan melvillei, a Miocene sperm whale the size of a bus, with 12-inch teeth in both jaws. Unlike today's squid-eating sperm whales, Leviathan was built for combat. A raptorial hunter that fed on other whales, and perhaps even sharks. Its massive skull and deep temporal muscles gave it one of the most powerful bites in vertebrate history. A true apex predator that hunted alongside Megalodon, sometimes for the same prey, sometimes for each other. When Leviathan emerged, the balance of the Miocene seas began to tremble. Two oceanic titans, each over 15 meters long, each capable of devouring whales, sharing the same hunting grounds. For millions of years, this deadly rivalry shaped the very structure of marine ecosystems. But while Leviathan eventually vanished, another rival was just beginning to rise. Predators weren't Megalodon's only problem. As the climate cooled, the entire ocean food chain began to fracture. Whale diversity dropped. from around 60 species to just 40 globally. Why? Because the base of the food web, tiny diatoms, began to vanish. These microscopic plants once powered the seas. When North and South America fused together, the seaway between the Atlantic and Pacific closed, ocean currents shifted, and nutrient flows dried up. Fewer diatoms meant fewer krill. Fewer krill meant fewer whales. And fewer whales meant starvation. A predator that needed tons of meat every day was suddenly trapped in an ocean running out of food. Its massive size, once its greatest strength, had become its deadliest weakness. And yet, even as Megalodon's dominance faded, new evidence from the fossil record tells us its story didn't end abruptly. The same study by Pimiento and colleagues, 2016, found that as Megalodon's range collapsed, it retreated into scattered warm water refuges, the Mediterranean, the Caribbean, the coasts of the Pacific. But everywhere it went, its rivals followed. In the early Pliocene, the great white shark began its quiet ascent. Fossil teeth found in southeastern Spain provide strong evidence that Carcharodon carcharias had already entered the Mediterranean, growing larger than any living great white today, some exceeding 6.5 meters in length. These discoveries reveal more than coexistence. They mark a transition of power. As the megatooth sharks faded, the great white adapted and survived. Smaller, faster, and far more efficient, it thrived in the colder, leaner oceans Megalodon left behind. It could survive on less food, strike quicker, and reproduce faster. Everything the new world demanded. This wasn't extinction alone. It was evolution in motion. The giants were falling, and their legacy was being rewritten by their descendants. By 2.6 million years ago, Megalodon was gone, wiped from the fossil record. Its disappearance left a vacuum. With no giant shark to keep them in check, whales grew even larger. The blue whale, the biggest animal ever to live, appeared just a few million years later. Nature had flipped the balance. The prey had become the giants. Today, the great white shark stands as Megalodon's successor, smaller, faster, yet carrying echoes of that ancient design. It grows a little larger with each generation, and still hunts using strategies refined in the Miocene seas. Maybe, in a few million years, the deep will remember, and another giant will rise, born from the echoes of Megalodon's reign. What ancient creature should we explore next? Leave a comment and subscribe so you don't miss our next story.